Hi guys and welcome to another video. So today I am going to be rating Sunderland's summer signings out of 10. Now because we are just heading into December as I'm recording this, I thought it would be a fair time to assess how the new lads have got on. Now all the ratings are only going to be my opinion, of course guys, so please don't hate me if I've given one of your favourite players a low rating or anything like that. But by all means, if you do disagree with any ratings, do comment it below and give your sort of player rating in the comments. Now, some of the players we did sign were, of course, meant to be for the sort of under-21s and the youth sides and stuff like that. So those players won't be included in this. But we will get straight into it in no particular order, and we're going to start off with Dillon McGee. So Dillon McGee did arrive on a free from Hibernian. He was their player of the season last year. He had teams all over the shot wanting to get his signature, and he did decide to come to Sunderland. So if we start off in pre-season, he looked absolutely excellent. He was our player of pre-season, which I know doesn't mean much, it's only pre-season, but he definitely got me excited. In fact, I ended up nicknaming him the Scottish Iniesta, which has actually got around a little bit on social media, which is pretty cool, and people are trying to stake claims on it, but I made it up. No one else did. It was me. But unfortunately, he did pick himself up an injury, which was such a shame because he was really, really good in pre-season. Every time he got the ball, no one could get near him. He's one of those players that he can break up the play. His passing range was excellent. And he just gives us the extra yard of space in midfield, and he's very, very good at it. And I have seen bits and pieces of him last season when he was at Hibernian, and that is why he got player of the season. But unfortunately, when he did come back from injury, he didn't seem to be that same player. He still had a decent one in the side, and he just doesn't seem to have that confidence to pick out that long pass, to break up the play the way he had done in pre-season and the way he has been doing last season throughout his career pretty much. He seems to be just keeping it as sort of easy as possible. He's got himself a bit of stick for, always going backwards, but, players are going to do that. His kind of player, is very much the underrated player. A little bit like Sergio Busquets. Obviously, he's nowhere near on that level. I'm not saying he is, but obviously Busquets for years and years and years, he was massively underrated because all he does is pick up the ball and pass it along. That's his job, to collect the ball in midfield, hold it up, give it away. You know what I mean? That's what he does. But unfortunately, he hasn't been doing that particularly well. So I am going to give Dillon McGee a rating of 6 out of 10, which is a little bit annoying. It probably seems a bit, maybe a bit too much because he hasn't exactly set the world alight. But I think the last couple of games that he was playing, he was actually improving massively. And I think when he has been out injured, because as I'm recording this, he is injured again, you can definitely see and you can definitely feel the team missing his presence, if you know what I mean. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10, and I think he will only improve, and I think he could potentially be a crucial player going in towards the second half of the season. Now, next up, John McLaughlin. Dear God, did we need a good goalkeeper this season, or at least a capable goalkeeper, after the absolute horrible experience we had last season between the sticks with the likes of Steele, Lee Camp. Oh, it literally makes me feel like throwing up when I hear his name. But we definitely needed someone a little bit more solid between the sticks, and by God, did we get it. John McLaughlin, we got him on a free from Hearts, and he's been nothing short of excellent. I think if he weren't in goal, if we still had the likes of Lee Camp or Steele in goal, I could quite easily see us mid-table in League One. He has saved our arse countless times, had penalty saves, some saves that I didn't even think were possible from close range. He's a decent shot stopper, very good shot stopper in fact. Collecting the ball in the air is very decent at. And I think because of the experiences we have had in the past with previous goalkeepers and the amount of points I think he has got on the board for us this season so far, he is going to be the one and only 10 out of 10 because I think he's been absolutely amazing, and what a piece of business to get him from Hearts on a free as well. 10 out of 10 for John McLaughlin. You're an absolute superstar. But next up, onto somewhat of a lesser superstar, and that is Elam Ozturk, who we did get from, I think it was Boluspor, I think it was. He had previous experience in the Scottish leagues as well. I think he won the Scottish Championship, and when he did win the Scottish Championship, he was in the team of the season stuff there. And obviously there've been little clips on YouTube of him scoring that wonder goal those years ago, and we thought we got ourselves an absolute, cracker of a player here. And the first game of the season, or at least the first half of the first game of the season against Charlton, we thought, what the hell have we brought here? Because he had an absolute shocker. Anything on the ground he can't control, he couldn't pass the ball, and he looked absolutely goddamn terrible. But I've grown to love him a little bit, weirdly enough. Since that game, he didn't get too much of a look in since we did bring in the likes of Flanagan, Baldwin, etc. But when he has been called upon, which isn't much, granted, because he hasn't got too much game time since that horror show on the first day, I can see what he is about. He's not great on the ground, on the floor. He's not going to control the ball and bring it out like the likes of Baldwin and Flanagan can do. But if you just need someone to keep the ball away, a no-nonsense defender, a bit of a brick shithouse, because he's a strong lad, then he is your man. And he has done that. I think we were playing, was it Wimbledon? I think we were playing, maybe, and we were getting battered physically all over the shot. And at half-time, Jack Ross, or even before then it might have been, Jack Ross did bring Ozturk on. And he was absolutely excellent, to be fair to him. He was absolutely excellent because they were just hoof balls thrown into our box over and over and over and over again. And he was winning absolutely everything. So, if you take it, if you know you're going into a game where you are going to get a lot of long balls or ping balls into the box, then he's one of the better players to have because he will win everything in the air. But if you want to play the nice football when you're playing it out from the back, which McLaughlin obviously likes to do, he's very good at picking out the quick pass. He's very calm, and to roll it out to his defenders. You probably don't want Ozturk on the end of that pass, do you? So for Ozturk, given he hasn't had too much game time, he can be a little bit terrifying to have at the back. He will be getting a 5 out of 10. Tom Flanagan, who also arrived on a free. A lot of these players did arrive on a free, and he come from Burton. I didn't know a massive amount about him before he did come, but he has come, and in pre-season he did look absolutely excellent. Definitely the kind of player you want if you're going to play, playing out from the back type football. Very comfortable on the ball. Had a little bit of pace about him. Good, half decent in the air, and he's pretty strong as well. And I thought very solid. Unfortunately, he did get injured for the early stages of the season, but he's come in and he's made a fantastic partnership with Baldwin, and he hasn't really put a foot wrong. He has made the odd little error here and there, and he is prone to an error, which is the worrying thing about him. But on the whole, he has been very good. So I am going to give Tom Flanagan a 7 out of 10. Next up, Rhys James, another free transfer who did come from Wigan. He's already won League One twice with the Latics, which is brilliant. He definitely has the CV for it. And he come in, and obviously we still had the likes of, or we do still have the likes of Oviedo, we had Hume, and he didn't get a look in, even though he was a new man. And so I didn't really get to see him too much, didn't think much of him, weren't massively impressed by him. But since Oviedo went out, Hume unfortunately got injured as well. He's been absolutely excellent, and I'm generally, probably the biggest surprise package for me has been Rhys James. It might just be me, and I think I'm becoming a little bit of a fanboy of his. I think he's been absolutely tremendous. And I wouldn't want anyone else there, to be honest with you, at the minute. Since over the last sort of run of games he's had, I think he's been better than both Oviedo and Hume. Defensively, he's been absolutely excellent. He is so solid on that left-hand side. And his stamina, he just doesn't stop running, don't stop tracking back. He makes really important challenges. And yes, you can argue that Oviedo and Hume might be better offensively, which, it might be the case, but I think Rhys James is just a lot more intelligent in that sense. He will wait for an opportunity to present itself before he does make his runs forward, but because defensively, that is his priority, and I'm completely fine with that, and I think he's been absolutely tremendous since coming in for Oviedo and Hume as well. So Rhys James, for me, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. And now we will move on to Chris Maguire. King Maguire, and obviously he's going to get a high rating, isn't he? Because he's just a frigging king. You can't give the king a low rating. But anyway, when we did bring Chris Maguire in, I think this is why it's so refreshing that he has been so good. Because he come in, and obviously I didn't know a massive amount about him. I've seen bits and pieces on social media here and there, and as soon as I read reports on him when we did sign him, to research him a little bit, I just thought, attitude problem. It just screamed out attitude problem, and I thought, why the hell are we bringing him in? But my God, has he proved me wrong. Yes, I think on the pitch he has a bit of an attitude problem, but in a good way. He's the biggest shithouse I've ever seen in my life, but he's one of those players that you hate to play against him, but you just love him on your side. He's constantly winding up the opposition players, constantly rallying up the fans, and I absolutely love it. But then you see him off the pitch with his interviews, and he just seems such a calm and collected guy. There's no sort of cockiness about him, whereas the second he steps over that white line, he's on the pitch. He's just a dick to the opposition, and I absolutely love him for it. And he has such good quality to boot as well. He's scored some very important goals for us this season, and he's just, I think he's definitely been probably even more of a surprise package than Rhys James, to be honest with you, because I suppose with Rhys James, with the CV that he had, you'd expect him to be at least somewhat decent, but because he had such a terrible season last season with Bury, as they did get relegated to League Two. I didn't know what to expect with him. Do you know what I mean? I thought he might be a bit of a squad player, but he's been one of our biggest stars so far this season. So Chris Maguire, I think because there has been 2 or 3 games where he has gone missing when we really needed that little bit of spark. You know, if he did come up a little bit more, then maybe I'd give him a 10 out of 10. But the King is going to get a 9 out of 10. Now onto Glenn Loovens, who I do have a massive amount of respect for. He's a very decent veteran, especially for this league. He has had his injury problems as well. He did get injured, I think, early doors this season. It might have been against Wimbledon, actually. I can't quite remember. But he's been in and out of the team since, and rightly so because of the partnership we've got at centre back in the minute. But he has been pretty solid when he has played. He is, again, because he's so slow. He's going to get caught out, and that happens with age as well. But he's definitely a decent signing to have in and around the ground as well, with the experience that he does have. And he hasn't been horrendous when he has played. He's just, again, because he is slow, he does get caught out a bit. So for that, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And now onto Jerome Sinclair, who has joined us on a season-long loan from Watford. Now, I think with this signing, I thought Sinclair, they probably brought him in and expected him to be the sort of goal scorer this year, because Maguire wasn't fantastic last year, and I think he was probably overhyped a little bit, and we didn't expect Maguire to be as good as he has been so far this year, because Maguire's been absolutely insane. And Sinclair hasn't quite lived up to the hype. He has had a few games, a few run-ins with the games as well, and don't get me wrong, I love his work ethic. He does the running that Maguire doesn't, but he just doesn't score the goals that Maguire does, if you know what I mean. He's not the clinical finisher that you'd want. He does work his arse off, and I do appreciate that. He does have a few nice touches here and there, but I think if he scored a few more goals, then he'd get a much higher rating from me. But for his work rate, I am going to give him a 6 out of 10. Next up, one of my favourite players that we have brought in this season so far is Jack Baldwin. He arrived for around, potentially, or rumoured to be around 200k from Peterborough. He was their captain at the time, and when he did move to us, you know, we obviously spoke to a few Peterborough fans, and there was things on social media where Peterborough fans were saying that, oh, he was shit, didn't want him anyway, and this, that, and the other, and he's been nothing short of amazing. He's been an absolute top-class centre-back for this league. He wins everything in the air. Some of the last-ditch challenges he makes just see him against the laws of gravity sometimes. The way he tracks back, last-ditch challenges. He's been fantastic and a real leader at the back as well. Absolutely excellent. I think he's a fantastic, fantastic defender, particularly for this league, as I say. And he is going to get a 9 out of 10 because he's been crucial at the back, and he has formed a very, very decent partnership with Flanagan as well. Now, next up is a player that is becoming a little bit of a fan favourite over the last couple of games anyway, as I'm recording this, and that is Luke O'Nien. Now, Luke O'Nien, I'll tell you, he has caused a little bit of controversy, and there's been several heated debates within the I Love Supreme fanzine WhatsApp group that I am in, and I'm on the side of he's not very good, or at least, you know, when we did originally sign him, and I had seen bits and pieces of him, I didn't really like him. I love his attitude. He's got an amazing, amazing work ethic, and he's apparently, you know, he stays late at training, and he struggles to get him away from the training ground because he wants to stick around and do as much training as humanly possible. So he has the best attitude you could possibly wish for in a player. But then when I do see him on the pitch, I don't know what it is. It's probably just me. You know, everyone has divided opinions on him, particularly in that WhatsApp group that I'm talking about. But he just looks so awkward on the ball. It's a little bit like spaghetti legs, and he doesn't seem like he's in full control of the ball when he's running away with it. I don't know whether it's just his running style or what. And I don't see what he brings apart from a little bit of energy. Of course, if you want someone to get himself in the box and make a nuisance towards the last stage of the game, then I suppose he's your man, because he's just going to run towards wherever the ball is. And I think he just gets very overexcited and commits a little bit too much. He'll commit a few fouls. He'll just make blatant fouls, pull players down when it's unnecessary, because he is getting overexcited. He is like a kid in a candy shop, and I think he realises that this is, you know, it's a massive step up for him, and he's so eager to impress and become that fan favourite. And I do appreciate that. That's absolutely fine. But I think once he calms his game down, he could be a very good asset to the club. But and he has chipped in with a couple of goals. You know, I'm not stupid. You know, I have seen what he has done, but I just can't help but, I don't know, it's just the way he moves, and like I say, he looks so uncomfortable on the ball. I don't know whether it's just a fluke that the couple of goals he's got or what. I don't know. I think a few more goals and I'll say, right, I'll admit I'm wrong. But he has chipped in with a couple of goals in the short amount of sort of game time he has been given. But I don't know. I just don't think he's an outstanding player. He might be able to do a job to an extent, but I'm still trying to fight in my head. Is he a League One player or is he a League Two player? Really, I know that's probably going to piss people off because he is becoming a fan favourite because he is such a nice lad. But this is my honest opinion. I could be wrong, and I hope he does prove me wrong. But I am going to give Luke O'Nien a 6 out of 10. Now, we did sign Charlie Wyke as well, but I don't think it would be fair to rate him because he's been injured the entire time. He's been here pretty much. He has played, I think he had a couple of games, one game, and he did get himself a goal, but I don't think it's fair to assess him over 2 games. I don't think that would be fair, and he's been injured. I mean, I could easily give him a 1 out of 10 because we haven't seen him, but I'm not going to do that. It wouldn't be fair. So instead of Charlie White, we'll move straight to the final player, which is Max Power. Now, recently in a match review, I did select Max Power, and it's something I do regret because not just because the red card was overturned, it would have been his 3rd red card before December, which is insane. In that game, there was obviously it was very heated. The referee was shit, but I'm not going to get into that. And I think I did go overboard a little bit. I was saying that I didn't want to see him in a Sunderland shirt again, and I have on social media spoke out about it and apologised directly to Max as well, which, you know, he probably don't give a shit about what I say, but that's by the by. There's a lot of fans that were giving him a lot of stick, and understandably so to an extent because we were so frustrated. But I think after our recent win against Barnsley, I saw the post-match interview with him, and you could definitely tell that the amount of criticism he got took a mental toll on him, and I think we forget sometimes that these players are human beings, you know, and it definitely, I don't know, it definitely took a toll on him, like I say, and I felt really bad, to be honest with you. I did feel bad, and I know some of these players that when they play shit or they do something wrong, they need to be able to man up and take a bit of stick, but especially when it's been overturned, it's not really justified, the red card, so, and to give him that amount of shit for it, I did feel quite bad. I felt like a bit of a dick, but yeah, so, you know, I do apologise for going that mad on it, but again, it was just a real heat at the moment type thing. But I've said for a long time, I think Max Power is our best quality midfielder, and I just hope he regains his confidence back up again since that red card, because there's nothing wrong with being tenacious. It's just doing certain things at the right times, and sometimes he does get overexcited. A little bit like Luke O'Nien in that sense, and he'll throw himself into a challenge needlessly, and he's asking for the referee to make a decision, which is a shame. But on the flip side, on the ball, he's very good. His passing range is incredible. He's very, very positive on the ball. He's not just a sort of hoof it type player. He'll only pick out the pass if it's on. You know, if he don't make it, don't make it. But he'll only pick out the pass when it's on. He's very good at breaking up the play, a little bit like McGee's supposed to do, but Power is doing it a hell of a lot better at the minute. So when he has been on the pitch, I think he has been fantastic, but obviously the red card's kind of, it's difficult because I think he's probably the best quality midfielder we've got, like I say. Obviously we've got Catamol and stuff like that, who I think he's been absolutely outstanding this season when he has been fit. Obviously he's injured at the minute, but I think the only thing that lets Max Power down is the couple of red cards that he has had. So I will be giving Max Power a 6 out of 10. So that is going to be it from me, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, please smash the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And don't forget to let me know all of your summer signing player ratings in the comments down below. Get commenting. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jammy.